Hong Kong.
Well, Alison Baum is the founder and CEO of the charity Best Beginnings and campaigns to improve the image of breastfeeding. So let's start with the basics. Why breast, not bottle?
Well, Best Beginnings is a child health charity and it's about giving all babies a healthier start, and breastfeeding is one of the key things that we support mothers to do because there's just this unequivocal body of evidence for the benefits for baby and for mother.
So why, if the evidence is so unequivocal and you don't have to bother with sterilising bottles and all the rest of the palaver, is it still not being adopted as widely as you would hope?
It's complicated and it's culture. I think we as humans are creatures of habit. We do what we know, we do what we see around us. So if, for example, your big sister or your mum or your friends all around you bottle fed, then that's what you're more likely to do. There's also other pressures. Advertising of formula will enable mums to make decisions not really based on all the evidence. So it's multifaceted, really.
So how much progress are you making?
It's hard. In the UK, for example, we have seen an increase in initiation. That's mums who start to breastfeed. But there's a huge inequality across the UK depending on the background of the mum. So if you're a managerial grade mum, if you're in a managerial job, you're very much more likely to start or continue. Young mums are very much less likely to start and less likely to continue. So if we think across the UK, about just over 20% of babies are exclusively breastfed at 6 weeks. So that means that around 80% are not exclusively breastfed despite the recommendations, and that's just 6 weeks in. So there's a lot of work to be done.
And I think that we can look at some of the posters that you've kind of come up with to promote you know, like the one that we're putting up there now, you know, I love mummy's milk, and there are, I know we've looked at a number of them today. That one there, kind of describe that one.
Yeah. So this was a project that Best Beginnings ran a few years ago. We encouraged design students, young designers, to create images to celebrate and raise profile around the benefits of breastfeeding, and they came up with some really great stuff, different things. We've got posters, we've got postcards, and
yeah,
it's about
the whopper of a meal for your baby.
Yes.
So in a kind of hamburger pack, a sort of, you know, a cartoon picture of a breast, and saying that's what you could give your baby as sort of good food.
And that's just two of very, very many. And it's so it's about awareness of benefits, but it's also about support. There's a big issue of mums in the UK and in other countries deciding that they do want to breastfeed and then that not working out in the way that they planned. And that's because if you haven't grown up seeing it around you, there's an innate knowledge that's gone.
Is there stigma that makes people maybe react against it, in the sense that, you know, people are told, well, you're not a proper mother, you're not doing very well for your child unless you're breastfeeding, and people feel a great pressure?
I'd say it's a tricky situation because some women do feel pressure. I think midwives and health visitors are becoming more and more aware about the sensitivity of the messaging to support women without their feeling pressure. And if a woman wants to breastfeed and hasn't managed to, then she's been failed by the system. It's not her that's failed. I mean, for example, my babies didn't breastfeed, as an example, but they had cleft palates, so I was able to give them my breast milk. But there are many examples of mums being made to feel uncomfortable breastfeeding in public, being asked to leave places that you really wouldn't expect them to leave for feeding. There's an amazing poem that's recently gone big viral, Holly McNeish talking about that fact. So as a society, particularly in the UK, we're very confused about what breasts are for. We know that we've got the page 3 model, we've got them all over the newspapers, we know that they are sexual things, and they are also for sex, but we seem to be a bit uncomfortable about their other use, which is as the best possible food for a baby.
Alison Baum, great to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in and setting out the case so clearly. Great to have you with us here on Global. Thanks very much indeed. And still to come on Global,